The earliest known reindeer fossils date to about 440,000 years ago, broadly in line with the beginning of the last ice age. The climate of that time produced an environment that allowed for a wide variety of flora, which in turn supported large herbivores and the predators that fed on them. It was during this time that woolly mammoths, hairy rhinos and reindeer lived alongside one another. The glacial extent covered much of what is now Europe, providing the necessary habitat for reindeer to thrive. And ultimately, where reindeer were in abundance, so too was Paleolithic people. Reindeer provided them with food, clothing, and the materials necessary for their survival. Prior to the dawn of agriculture, it has been proposed that, like dog, reindeer and humans held an association. Evidence from about 5,500 years ago reveals that people walked amongst the reindeer herds. By walking, not running, and having footprints under and overlaid with reindeer tracks, then indicates that reindeer were comfortable with the presence of humans. Reindeer, unlike later domesticated animals, were not corralled by humans, but were followed as they migrated across the land. The exact time of reindeer domestication is uncertain, but is likely to have taken place gradually over several millennia. From walking amongst the herd to milking, riding, and eventually sledge pulling, it is clear that reindeer became integral to human development in cold climates. Unlike the woolly mammoth, woolly rhino and cave bear, reindeer were able to adapt to the environmental changes brought about when the glaciers retreated at the end of the last ice age, some 10,000 years ago. But still requiring a cold habitat, reindeer populations migrated north with the glaciers. This glacial line can be seen today by the distribution of reindeer across the planet, with reindeer now only found in the Holarctic, that being the Arctic and subarctic areas of the Northern Hemisphere. There are 7 species of reindeer alive today, 3 in Europe and Russia, and 4 in North America, although in the latter they are probably known as caribou. Reindeer's scientific name is Rangifer, of which 6 million can collectively be found domesticated and in the wild. Deer belong to the Cervidae family, of which there are 40 species found across the planet, thriving in diverse habitats from the Arctic through Europe, Asia, North America and down to the very tip of South America. Yet despite their broad range of habitats, they do share features in common, one of which is that they have antlers and/or tusks, although tusks are certainly less common. Reindeer are unique amongst Cervidae in that, unlike the others, where it is only the males, the bulls, who grow antlers, with reindeer both males and females, the cows, also grow antlers. In the United Kingdom, there are 7 types of reindeer that can be found today, although only the red deer, roe deer and reindeer are natives. Of the other 4, fallow deer were introduced to Britain in the 12th century. Sika and muntjac at the beginning of the 20th century, and Chinese water deer in the late 20th century. Since reindeer are an Arctic animal, they keep their white winter coats for most of the year. The hairs of their coat are hollow, thereby trapping heat and keeping them warm in conditions of as low as -72 degrees Celsius. Indeed, reindeer do not feel the cold until the temperature drops to -35. Reindeers molt their coat at the beginning of summer, a process that can take up to 6 weeks. Their non-hollow brown summer coat is much finer and serves to help prevent overheating. Living in the Holarctic, reindeer naturally traverse over ice and snow. Their hooves are well adapted to these conditions, with the hooves being wide and splayed. The addition of hair on their hooves not only helps with grip on icy ground, but also provides them some warmth. Whiteouts are common in the Holarctic, and rather than open their mouths to call to one another, which would lose the reindeer valuable heat, the tendons of their hind hooves click as they walk, signalling to other reindeer their location. This is especially important during the herd's migration. Reindeer, like many other herbivores, grow appendages on their head. The horns of these animals, such as antelope, sheep, cow and rhinoceros, are made of the protein keratin, the same substance as human hair and fingernails. However, unlike the antlers of deer, these horns grow continuously throughout the animal's life. Reindeer shed and grow new antlers every year, with the process only taking a few months, and at the rate of up to 8 centimetres a week. Bulls begin to grow theirs in March, with cows beginning theirs in April. The antlers grow from pedicles protruding from the skull. During the growing phase, the antlers are covered in a layer of hairy skin called velvet. Unlike horns or fingernails, antlers grow from the tip, and it is this characteristic that allows the antlers to branch out. Whilst growing, the antler ossifies from the pedicle to the tip. The live nature of reindeer antler means that they are very sensitive and do bleed if damaged. To assist in their growth, reindeer use their hooves to massage the antlers and stimulate the blood supply through the velvet. This process then helps to increase the antler's size. Once the antlers are grown and the bone is completely ossified, the blood supply ceases and the velvet skin dies and falls away, leaving the bare bone underneath. Both bull and cow reindeer make use of their antlers. The bulls use theirs in combat against other bulls during the rut, and then later to defend their harem of cows from the other bulls. They eventually drop their antlers in late autumn or early winter, following the breeding season. Cows, on the other hand, retain their antlers until the spring. By keeping their antlers until their calves are born, they are better able to compete with the bulls over food resources. The shape of a reindeer's antler is unique to the individual and will grow in the same shape every year. Although deer can be found in a wide variety of environments, reindeer require plants that can only be found in the Holarctic environment. The treeless tundra of the Holarctic is dominated in the summer months by nutrient-rich mosses and lichens, alongside a wide variety of other suitable vegetation, including mushrooms. During the winter, when the vegetation has died back or is covered in snow, the reindeer live near exclusively on lichen. Living off this diet of soft vegetation, reindeer do not require many teeth. On their lower jaw they possess a few small teeth that work with the hard palate of their upper jaw to pick at plants. At the rear of their mouth they have molars for chewing their regurgitated food. Reindeer, like all species of deer, are ruminants and have 4 stomachs. After ingesting their food, they then regurgitate it and use their molars to further break down the plant matter to better aid digestion. The lichen that reindeer eat is commonly known as reindeer moss. Reindeer are so linked to this moss that its scientific name reflects that of reindeer, Cladonia rangiferina.